So here we have an Uber driver he's an Uber and Lyft driver, writes a blog and says, here are the top things riders should know probably before getting to their cruise ship. And it says there, with over 4 million passengers sailing from Port Canaveral each year, there is no wonder that it was recently designated as the busiest cruise port in the world, effectively stealing the title from Miami. So you have people going to these ports, masses of people. You have masses of people arriving, right? And I think it's really cool that the Uber driver took the time to actually give them some advice, right? Because it's sort of like a win-win situation. Here, take this advice. It'll help you. It'll help us, the driver. If you know a scenario like that, write it out, email it to me, send me a picture, and let's do a story, right? Because I think the more we educate riders, the easier we make our lives, right? And here, probably a lot of luggage and baggage is involved. So you also want to use that opportunity to educate the rider or the passenger on tipping. So any story that you have that makes your life easier, the rider's life easier, write it up, send us a picture, and let's do a video about this, right? Because I think education is key. I think a lot of these riders, the good ones, I'm not talking about the thugs and criminals and carjackers and murderers that Uber and Lyft allow on the platform, but the good ones that genuinely want to go on a cruise and say, hey, how can you make my life easier? How can I make your life easier, right? How do we create this win-win situation, right? There, these boats arrive, leave. There's the little Uber app. These are the, beautiful ships that sail in and out there. How to secure the best, for example, least crowded and lowest price rideshare from Port Canaveral. The earlier you get off your ship, the lower your fare will be, right? You get the same as when you get out of a concert or a sports stadium, dear rider, dear passenger. The sooner you get out there, right, the more cars are available. The prices the surges haven't even started, right? So that is a really, really good tip. Get the heck off your boat, right? Just try and get to the front of the line, get off, get an Uber, get out. So the earlier you get off the ship, the lower your fare will be due to the abundance of rideshare drivers waiting outside of the port. I think that's probably the best piece of advice right there. So Grice gave the following prices. Keep in mind that they are an estimate for riders that commence prior to 9 a.m. UberX, $74 for up to 4 people. Remember, 4 people. I want to say this again to riders. Don't force your driver to accept a 5th and a 6th person because you booked UberX. UberX is for 4, quattro people, right? That's one big nightmare that we have to go through, and you shouldn't put us in. Uber XL, $105 for up to 6 people. For up to 6 people, not 10 people and 10 people's luggage. I've seen it all. We've seen it all. So again, use this opportunity. Use your story to educate XXL riders, passengers. This is how it works. This is how much you can expect to pay, prior 9 a.m. Uber Comfort, $90 minimum for 4 people. Note that Uber Black is not available for passengers leaving Port Canaveral, but you can order an Uber Black ride from MCO to the port for approximately $145. Moreover, these prices are estimates for rides that begin at Terminal 1 in Port Canaveral and conclude at MCO's Terminal B. Thank you for sharing. Another way to save money is to buddy up with other travelers. Oh God, please don't promote ride sharing, right? Or shared rides or pool rides, right? I'm not giving that any attention here if that's what you're talking about. But if you're going with friends and family members, maybe you get an XL, for example, right? An XL, and you can split the cost. How to decide what to tip. How to decide what to tip, riders. There's a lot of work involved in this transaction here, right? So show me the money. Show them the cash. Per Grice, if the driver is friendly and actively helps you to load your luggage into the nicely maintained vehicle, i.e. clean, no smells, etc., 15 to 20% is ideal. 20% should be a given, right? If it's 100, 120, right? And so on, so on. If it's 10, 12, easy math. Additionally, drivers prefer to be tipped in cash If, however, we want the cash, dear rider, because we're afraid, and it's happened too often, that Uber and Lyft steal a part of our tips. So just tip us in cash. And if you create your next story, right, maybe you have a story for Miami or New York or something like this, where we can educate riders and drivers alike, right? How does the tipping work there? What does the trip look like? What does it entail? What is the pricing? So take a lot of these factors into consideration when you send me a story and a picture. I'll gladly make a video. I'm all about education, my friends. If you don't know that, go to gigrocket.com. Lot of good courses there. Additionally, drivers prefer to be tipped in cash. If, however, that is not an option, you can easily leave a tip through the mobile app or Venmo or Zelle. Is there a way to make getting picked up easier, right? Again, we're helping you here, dear rider. It is no surprise that the pickup areas located near the terminal are subject to crowds during disembarkation. To help your driver, you should turn the location option on. This way they will be able to see your exact location. Amen. Thank you. Additionally, it is helpful when you text your driver a descriptive location of where you are standing. Are you located near a large concrete column or sign? Plus, you can let them know that what you are wearing, right? That helps me a lot. Like if I pick up a private client at the airport and it's the first time, oh, I'm wearing a blue sweater or a red cap, it helps a lot, right? So are they located near a concrete column or sign? What are you wearing? Guys are just wearing brightly colored clothing. It is easier for them to spot someone wearing a bright green t-shirt than someone wearing navy. Okay. When you see that they are approaching, do not be afraid to wave them down to get their attention. This helps them single you out amongst a sea of other individuals trying to find their drivers. What I usually do is I stand up on the side of my rails and I wave, or I have to say, hey, I have the lights on, look for the flashing lights, the hazard lights, right? Easy. Communicating, texting makes it so much easier. With so many people in tight area, the drivers need help. These are things that will help them locate you in as timely of a manner as possible. Are rideshare apps safe methods of transportation? Absolutely. Unless you're going in with the wrong, the people that have come off the ship, right? They've been vetted going on the ship, security-wise, checked in. So I'm sure you're not going to get thugs getting off the ship with knives and guns, etc. Right? So probably a very safe location to pick up. So absolutely it is. The Port Authority requires that all rideshare drivers be registered with the port in order to be eligible to pick up. They have enforcement officers that roam the waiting lots and pickup areas and search for unregistered drivers. Routinely, these same drivers try to solicit cash rides in the middle of the pickup area, and the authorities work hard at running them off and issuing trespass tickets, right? People trying to make cash there. We have seen an occasion the authorities catch them and force passengers out of the vehicles and order the driver to cancel. As always, before getting into a vehicle, make sure you check the license plate and have the driver confirm your name. Say my name. Common mistakes cruisers make when getting to and from Port Canaveral. Shuttles are an inconvenient mode of transportation. While the costs are similar when it's a single couple traveling, you'll be subject to making multiple stops before reaching your destination. So he's basically not encouraging people to take shuttles. So I appreciate this driver for giving some very, very valuable input. If you have a story like this, okay, this is how you handle the sports arena or this concert area, or this is how you handle, Times Square, you name it. Come with all the details. Give examples, right? Let's make stories like this. Let's start educating and educating and educating. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you drive this area, what would you like to add for the passenger? What would you like to add for the driver? We can always extend the story, extend the ideas and suggestions. And I appreciate that input. I I appreciate the links and the suggestions and that education that we can give the riders to make our lives better. Have a good one. Please be safe out there.